I missed the August garden tour, but believe me, you didn't miss much. But now we're in September. It's a rainy day. I've got the umbrella just in case we get poured on. So let's get started on this September full garden tour. I'm gonna start off with the Opal Basil. Look at the variegation on this leaf, so cool. The seedlings we have not yet put out. Let's see. This is the tatsoi. Very hardy and pest resistant. The slugs have not bothered this one little bit. The pak choi and bok choy in this package, on the other hand, is being clobbered. But luckily, we have plenty more where they came from. The rutabaga is also a popular choice. Maybe some kind of caterpillars in here. Yeah, that could be a caterpillar. The spinach, kale, calendula is looking beautiful. Those will be going in a bed soon. The tomatillos are still as overgrown as ever. I can't even harvest anything under here because it's just so heavy, and especially now that it's rained. Tomatoes harvesting often. Starting to make my sauce. Loving this Sweet Annie. Smells so good. Hasn't flowered yet. Keep deadheading my marigold, and they keep coming back. So one of the garlic beds that I'm gonna be planting garlic in again, I threw alfalfa seeds as a cover crop. I will be tilling that back in to the soil in a few weeks, so that it'll be composted down in time for putting garlic seed in October. More ripe tomatoes. I've dehydrated quite a bit of the cherry tomatoes. It's become very hard to harvest cucumbers that end up at the bottom of the tomatillos. There's a couple more cucumbers in there. This is the lemon basil. It smells really good. And I also have, what was the other basil? Thai basil. That one has the licorice smell to it. It has even smaller leaves than the lemon. I've harvested quite most of the honey rock melons, cantaloupes. The amount of rain are causing them to split, like this one right here. And when that happens, the ants and the slugs have a smorgasbord. So I'll be pulling that up after this video. I got one more here. It's still definitely green. Who knows how long that will stay there. I'm very excited. I have, I believe, a Moon and Stars watermelon. It's a wonderful size. And this one, I forget whether it's the Siberian giant or the Florida giant. I forget which one I planted where. And one more little guy over here. It got a hole in it early on. Something made a hole in it, but it's sealed up, so I think inside it's going to be just fine. This is the corn for grinding. They look very nice indeed. Here we have the Gobstopper cherry tomatoes growing really well. If there's not enough time before the cold weather sets in, I might also overwinter this. The birds are insane. I'm putting like food in here twice a day. I need to get more of these. Having a lot of fun watching all the different kinds of birds come through. I have to weed yet again my asparagus bed. So the first round of potatoes were harvested in July. I popped in okra plants later than advisable. But again, another plant that I just found out recently that I can overwinter. So I am definitely gonna try that with the okra. We have our wild San Marzano sprawled on the ground over here. This could be Rutgers. Yeah, that's probably the Rutgers. I mean, it could be one of the German striped tomato. And this one is definitely a German striped. Our jalapenos are doing very well. Looky, some ripe ones. Our habaneros. Can't wait to pick that and eat it. Some parsley hanging on. Good for fresh picking. This is a bok choy that self-seeded, which I'm very happy about, which means, you know, I can keep this pretty much untouched and yummy food will grow out of it. I think we're past due on these kidney beans. They are getting all moldy and disgusting from all the rain. The edamame, on the other hand, are doing just fine. But I'll have to do a little research, and I think it's time to pick some of those. This is the purple top rutabaga, should be. And they're forming little bulbs, which I didn't have last year. But these are really eaten up by the cabbage moth worms. They really like these plants. Kale, not as much. Well, when they have this, I guess, why would you want to eat kale? Even the bugs know better. So the corn got blown down in one of the rainy days that we had. It was just a little bit brutal. So we tried to string it back up. But they're at the end of their day. The silks are getting brown and dry. So it's going to be time to harvest that very soon. Oh, and having cut down a few trees really opened up the skyline here. So next year, the plants, I'm thinking rhubarb. I need to thin out where the rhubarbs currently are. I think I'll put them here so then they'll have even sun. And so they're not reaching out like the corn was. Yeah, so the rhubarb currently is not a problem, but they get big if you give them the space, and that's what we want. These are plants that will last many years, and we want them to produce as well and as much as possible. So we'll thin out some of them that's in here and transplant them where the corn is currently. No blooms on my masterpiece. The morning glory, no flowers. No flowers on them either. I find that so bizarre. What is it? The Waltham something. That one is gigantic, as always. And there's another gigantic one in there. Ouch. And then we have several and it just keeps going. I'm really happy about this loofah. You don't even know. I don't know why. It's not like I'm eating it. Yep, some sad beans in here. And a sweet potato. I hope they're massive in there because the vines are ridiculous. Celery. I should freeze dry these. Or freeze them. What is it? Do you dry them and then freeze them? Or I don't have a freeze dryer. So we'll see what we do with those. You've seen this recently. Beets and carrots still here. Beautiful marigolds. So the broom corn are what, 10, 12 feet tall? It's really cool. This is a different corn, a drying corn that got transplanted. It's got the seeds are different from the broom corn. The broom corn are like grains. And then we have blue flax. I don't know if you can wait for those to dry and get flax seeds. There's a lot of weeds in here. We got mosh surviving amongst the clover. We got our purslane. Got some more tomatoes. Genovese basil. Thyme. Cosmos. What's this one? Malabar spinach. Our recently planted sad little bed. Our ever abundant ground cherries. I'm really gonna have to do a different method of planting these because it's so hard to get the fruit underfoot. So I think some kind of raised system would be the best so that when they fall down, it's much neater to pick them. These are bunching onions. They're really amazing. I'm so glad I have them here. And not wild. I'm letting the lettuce go to seed so that we will have lettuce next year without much work for me. The Claytonia that I'm just letting it live, and the sorrel. Sorrel's got that lemony flavor. It's very good. And we've been harvesting here and there from our strawberry patch. That was a yummy one. There's some asparagus in here, onions. And then on the driveway we have various corn, various sunflowers that were nibbled but persevered and are coming through. And the sunflowers that are past their prime, I need to cut off those heads and bring them in, let them dry outside of the elements. Alright, well that was painless and quick. We didn't get rained on. It rained like 80% of the summer. So we're very happy with what we could get, and we're still getting. Aside from the beetles, I think, or the squash bugs, I've lucked out on most of the pests and diseases. I say that now, but back when, a month or two ago, I was just pulling out my hair with all these bugs. But in retrospect, it wasn't the end of the world. I still got harvest from those infested plants. Well, I hope those of you who need rain get it, and those of you who have had enough rain get a break. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.